I really hope I'm going to be able to get this devotion done this morning. There's a ton of gnats out here right now, and they're really bothersome. So if you see me like doing this or swatting around my face, I'm really trying to just like get all these gnats off of me. So please bear with me. Proverbs 27 verse 5 and 6. Open rebuke is better than love carefully concealed. As difficult as it is sometimes to be humble and receive correction, it's likewise very hard, for me at least, to correct people. For I both know my own shortcomings and fear the response of those whom I'm correcting. Adam Clark notes that rebuke is a rough medicine, and none can desire it. But the genuine, open-hearted may be intended, who tells you your faults freely, but conceals them from all others. In that last sentence, we see the heart of loving correction is for the personal growth of the one being corrected and not for their shame. If we keep that in mind when receiving correction, we won't be offended. And if we keep it in mind while correcting others, it will encourage us that the correction that we're giving is for the benefit of the one being corrected. We're told in Hebrews 3:13, but exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. Now, we see here that it's actually quite mean to allow someone to continue in sin, because that person could become hardened and their walk from God would be hindered. Our heart is to be for our sanctification and for the sanctification of those around us. David Guzik notes that love does very little good when it's concealed, and the honest love, open rebuke, can be much better than the carefully concealed love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. The evangelist Paul Washer is quoted as saying, "Your best friend is the one who tells you the most truth." If you don't correct someone for the sake of their feelings, you're actually doing them a disservice. This is a quote that I've often wished my father would have told me growing up, that I might have better received the correction and discipline that I did throughout my life. Now, this doesn't mean to go around rebuking every single person in the world for not following Christian principles. As Paul stated in 1 Corinthians 5:12, "For what do I have to do with judging those who are on the outside? Do you not judge those who are on the inside?" The outside that Paul's talking about is those outside of the church. People who don't claim to be following Christ can't be held to those standards, can't be held to those principles. And those outside the church are judged by God. That's what Jesus was talking about, where he says, "For he who believes not in me has with him that which judges him." And those inside the church are to be judged by the church. Those who would tickle your ears, approving of your wickedness, are not doing you any favors. Likewise, you're not walking in perfect love if you're not trying to help those around you walk in holiness. This is a very, very difficult thing to put in practice, at least for me. This kind of shows me my own condition a lot of times, that there's a lot of times where I'm more concerned about the opinion that someone's going to have when I'm correcting them than I am with what God would think about the situation. This is what, in a roundabout way, it's what Jesus is talking about, where he says, "How can you believe, you who seek the approval of man and do not seek the approval that comes only from God?"